Good afternoon. Today's fourth and final press conference is with Minnesota. Format of the press conference will be opening statement from head coach, then questions for the student athletes only, then the student athletes will be excused, and then we will finish with questions for Coach Frost. Go ahead, opening statement.
Yeah, very excited to be here in our home rink on the last weekend of the year to have an opportunity to play for a national championship is pretty exciting. It was a goal of ours to be in the position that we're in right now. At the beginning of the year, players fought through a lot of adversity and a lot of pressure to get here, and now we're excited to drop the puck here tomorrow.
Thank you, Coach. We're going to open up. First question for the student athletes. We have a microphone right here. Please raise your hand, and we will go with the first question for the student athletes. Right over there.
Todd Molesky with the Wisconsin State Journal for Ella or Sydney, whoever wants to take this one. I don't know that it can be much bigger than Minnesota against Wisconsin in the Frozen Four, but when you add that you're still trying to crack and get a win against them this season, does that add anything more to it for you guys?
You can go. I think any opportunity for a border battle, we're just like dying for a win here, and I think we're kind of focused on ourselves. Like, we know what we have in the tank, and as we've said, we're playing our best hockey right now. So I think more so going into it thinking about them, we're more so thinking about us and like what we have to do to play our best hockey.
Next question for the student athletes. Right over here.
Yeah, this is for Ella. You've played alongside Abby Murphy for a long time. What do you think makes her so good at what she does?
I mean, her goal scoring ability to start. She can score from anywhere. Her playmaking ability, she can set up any single person on the ice. And then just how hard she works. Like, you know what you're getting from her every single game. So, yeah.
Next question, right here in the front.
Nicole Hazy, USCHO. Sydney, you said you want to be playing like your best hockey. What does that look like? If it's the first 10 minutes, what do you want to have happened to make you feel like, okay, this game's going to go our way?
Yeah, our team has like a set of standards that we review kind of before each game. Some of those things are pinning and doubling, getting pucks deep, 3 hard strides. So we all kind of know what that looks like in our locker room, and it's definitely like a feeling. So when we go out there, we feel the togetherness. We feel like we're all over teams. I think we've shown it in the past, especially recently. So that's definitely our focus going into tomorrow.
Question here in the back left.
Piggybacking on what Coach Frost said, how much pressure and adversity has there been this year?
I mean, obviously, we've had losses this year. We've had pretty tough losses. But I think that honestly, that adversity has been great for us. We've learned from it. And coming into this weekend, we almost like that we went through that adversity because now we know how to react if we face any this weekend. So,
Right here in second.
Ella, how often do they take a run at you because they're mad at Abby?
Sometimes, but it's okay. It comes with playing with her, and I love it. So,
Other questions for the student athletes? Back left.
Ella, you talk about this team turning a corner. Where was that corner? Where did you see it? Was there a weekend where you came home and you're like, okay, I think this group has figured it out?
I'm going to be so honest. At that WCHA final face-off was the best we've played all year. And I think just after that weekend, we were like, we can really do this thing. Like, it brought a lot of belief into our locker room. So, yeah, I would say that was our biggest turning point.
Any other question? Follow-up right here in the front.
Ellen, knowing that Wisconsin has been able to shut Abby down over the last little bit, that puts more pressure on you and the other forwards for sort of secondary scoring. Have you, is there anything sort of you've worked on or looked for or tape watched, anything like that to sort of be in a position where you know that, like, your team's leading scorer might not be the one that wins this game for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, especially we saw it in the WCHA final face-off. We needed our depth scoring to come through, and I think that is exactly what we did. During this time of playoffs, like, we need everyone, and of course, if Murph scores, that's awesome, and she probably will, but, like, the rest of our team can score and will score, so, yeah.
Any final questions for student athletes? Ella, Sydney, you can head back to the locker room. Thank you. First question for Coach Frost. Right here, second row.
Brad, you talked about playing your best hockey at the end of the year. Do you feel like you even have to take another step up to this weekend to make it happen?
Yeah, I mean, we're just going to have to execute at a really high level. They're super dangerous on turnovers. They've got some of the best offensive players in the history of the women's game. It's we believe we can win first and foremost, but it's going to take a great effort. No shortcuts and no shifts off. Like our players said, we feel real good about how we're playing and excited to show that tomorrow.
Next question. We'll go over there and then right here.
Brad, I think I remember right a couple of years ago, you said you could probably predict what Mark has for breakfast. He can probably do the same for you. You've coached against him so many times. Does it just get to be, you know how to read like what he's sending over the boards, and he knows the same about you?
Yeah, and I think, systematically, all the players that are on their team, we've recruited. All the players on our team, they've recruited. You get to know these players when they're in high school, and so. And you see them in the U18s and under 22s national team in different places, and so it's. We were actually talking right after the game up in Duluth there, that final game. We had shaken hands and we're chatting while they were reviewing to put a second back on the clock or whatever it was. But it comes down to a break and who's going to make a play, and they made one more play than we did that night, and I'm sure it'll be the same here tomorrow in regards to somebody's going to make a play, and it's going to help their team win.
Next question here, front left.
How does this Wisconsin team compare to some of the great teams you've seen in this conference, in this game in the last 18 years?
Yeah, I mean, one of the best for sure. I thought, Ohio State, with the depth that they had last year was pretty incredible as well. The thing about Wisconsin is they're never out of a game because of their ability to score. I don't know what they're averaging, but should be somewhere around 5 goals a game. So you've got to, it's really hard to outscore them. And so you need great goaltending, you got to defend well, and hope you can keep them off the board for as long as possible. But they're one of the best that's been. To go through our league with one loss is really impressive.
Question here in the front.
Brad, I'm wondering if maybe you had more belief in the players than they did, but if you felt that same corner turn up in Duluth, and I remember Milenkova at postgame, that was like the most positive a player has ever been after a heartbreaking loss, maybe. But it just felt like your team took as much from a loss as they might have from a win there.
Well, it was the closest we had been, right, against them. And so obviously we had played a great game the night before. And then to carry that on against the Badgers the next night, and we made sure that they took belief out of that, But being 0-5 against them is that's history. They call it history for a reason. We're not trying to beat them, 5 straight times. We're trying to beat them one time, and that's the focus.
Other questions? We'll go here in the front, then we'll go in the back.
Nadine was in here earlier today, and she said that yours was the first face she saw when she gave birth to her first child. How did that come about?
Okay, first of all, I was not in the room. Let's clarify, I was not at her bedside. I don't know where the father of her child was. I don't remember that. I didn't know that, but I just wanted to clarify that I was only at my wife's bedside when she was giving birth. But obviously, Muzz, we have a lot of history together, and I remember her coaching on the bench and having contractions. And I'm like, you can go. You can go now. Oh, no, I'll be fine, and gave birth that night. So a lot of great history there, and happy for her and the success she's having for sure.
Don't know how I follow that up, but
I don't either.
Is there any disadvantage to being home this weekend?
No. I can't think of a reason that it would be a disadvantage. You know, as far as it being an advantage, obviously our locker room and we're used to the ice surface and things like that. But you ask Wisconsin, Ohio State, I think they feel pretty comfortable here as well. You know, really Cornell is the only one that hasn't played here in probably a few years. So, yeah, it's just like last weekend, the pressure that our team felt was real because they wanted so badly to get to the Frozen Four at home. They didn't want anyone using their locker room. They didn't want to be the team that's hosting and not be in it and things like that. And so, you know, we're here. We're playing the last weekend of the year. We're one of 4 teams remaining, and so I'm hopeful and do believe that our team will not be overly nervous, but they're just excited to play in front of sold out building, and I'm sure it will be half Badger fans and half Gopher fans with the number of tickets that have been sold. I think the Badger fans probably thought their team was going to make the Frozen Four in September last year, and our fans were hoping we'd make the Frozen Four and seeing that we made it just a week ago. So I would imagine there will be a lot of fans for both teams in the building.